Today I'd like to discuss what I've been saying I was going to discuss for the last couple of videos. Should autistic characters be portrayed by neurotypical actors? I feel this is a topic that everyone's quite passionate about at the moment, especially due to Atypical. That really brought up everything. I'm going to talk about some of the portrayals I've seen of autistic characters by neurotypicals in popular culture. Everything I'm going to say is of course coming from a viewer point of view. It's not coming from an actor point of view. Yeah, fair enough, I've acted in school plays and did get quite good roles, to be fair, when I was in primary school, but you know, that aside, I'm definitely no actor. Admittedly, something that I probably would go into more if I had the time, but who's got the time for that? I'm going to talk about three major examples of neurotypicals portraying autistic characters. These examples are Joe in The A Word, Christopher in The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, and Sam in Atypical. Let's discuss them in the order that I watch them. The A Word. The A Word is a show which follows the journey of a child getting diagnosed. The character of Joe gets diagnosed at the age of 5, and the show sees how the family in the small village reacts to all that. It's a very good drama programme, I would highly recommend it. But ultimately, with it being a character so young, it's rare to find an actor anyway. So I can understand why they went with the neurotypical, being his name's Max, I think. I feel the role that Max gave was a very demanding role, very demanding for any child, let alone one on the spectrum. And in fact, what they did, if you've seen any of the behind the scenes stuff, most of the footage that they used is when they'd been filming for hours and Max, the kid, got bored. That would be the best way for him to appear on the spectrum. It's brilliant. For anyone who's seen it, you will agree he delivers a very believable performance, and to say he's only, 6 years old or whatever, well done on it. We have to be fair to the BBC on that one. It's not going to be possible to find a child on the spectrum. I was good at following instructions, but if you think of how young that is. However, The A Word wanted to make a change about not having an autistic actor play an autistic character. I don't know how much I can say about this. In fact, everything I'm going to say is all stuff that was out in the public anyway. They're introducing a character called Mark. Mark is 16 and on the spectrum. With Mark, what they did, they had an open call for it. They literally just put something on social media, got shared around all the autism groups. Anyone could apply. Of course I applied, didn't get it. The requirement wasn't to be an actor, the requirement was to be on the spectrum and be able to follow instructions. I won't talk about the way that character is being introduced because we'll save that for the actual show. We're going to see what it's like for a late teen on the spectrum in England, and purely shown through the eyes of an autistic person themselves. I think that's incredible. Mark is going to get into a bit of a sticky situation. From what I've heard about the character, he's not one that likes to let his autism stop him doing things. He has a real passion for something. That something requires going to a busy place which is loud. You can probably guess what I mean. He doesn't let that stop him. I don't particularly. And it's going to be good to see that, because I don't think we get enough of that portrayed in the media. It seems to be very painted, the fact that they don't like busy places, therefore they never go to busy places. Moving on to the next thing I'm going to talk about, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. Christopher, autistic, 15, never properly stated that he's autistic, but he is autistic. With The Curious Incident being a play, plays are very intense on the whole lights, sounds situation. The whole point of this play is to replicate many sensory overloads. I only saw the relaxed version, which was adapted so people on the spectrum could enjoy it without having to worry about all these sensory things. In fact, you can see my review of that. That will be above me now. With that role, it's very sensory demanding, overload constantly. So I can understand how it would be a struggle for someone on the spectrum. Because I only saw the relaxed version, I can't even imagine what the normal version's like. Apparently, anyone who has seen it that I know, they've said it's challenging for neurotypicals. The other thing as well, because it's a play, it's very arty-farty, I like to say. In plays, they do things that you wouldn't do in film or TV. For instance, one scene I'm going to talk about, it doesn't spoil anything. Play is kind of set inside Christopher's mind. And there's one point where Christopher goes into space. He gets held up by all the cast members and floats around the stage, being touched by everyone, and yeah, there's also bits where he runs around the walls being held by everyone. That's something else as well. Would be challenging for someone on the spectrum. What we also have to look at with it being a play, it's a touring play, tours all around the country. I feel the whole change in routine would actually be a struggle for someone on the spectrum too. New places every single week. Oof. I don't think I would be able to. The person who I saw portray Christopher was called Sam, and because of the special performance I saw, we got a chance to chat to Sam afterwards. In fact, if you look in the video that I was saying about the review of it, you can see me asking Sam about how he portrayed the character and how he made himself autistic. And Sam's approach to it was very much not looking at autism, just looking at character trait, which I think was brilliant, and so nice to see that that's how it's being embraced. It's funny actually, during one of the questions someone was asking, has no one ever played Christopher on the spectrum, and they have actually cast someone in the Broadway version, which is interesting now. There's now an autistic person playing Christopher, which is brilliant, and good on him, because wow. But yeah, the UK version's yet to find a person, and they were sat there talking about it, saying, oh, we never know, we might find an autistic actor willing to do it one day, and I was jokingly like, and Sam laughed. Sam did that whole thing, which meant, yeah, body language and stuff, it's confusing. Sam, for me, he portrayed Christopher brilliantly. I didn't feel he was trying to mock us in any way. Now moving on to the last one, Atypical. You know already I don't have the best opinion of this show. I do have some good opinions, but yes, you can look at my last video for that. I don't want to spend too long on this because I've been talking about the show a lot recently. The character of Sam is played by Kier. I think that's how you pronounce his name. To be fair to him, he said that he grew up with a lot more autistic people in his life than the average person. So my problem with the character of Sam doesn't actually come with his performance. I think the problems I have with that character was in the writing, not his performance. So to be fair to him, yeah, you played it. The fact he was cast, that opens a question for me. I've seen all of Atypical. I don't think it was a particularly demanding role. You know, there's not this whole touring thing that I was on about, or sensory overload thing. I feel they would have made such a bigger statement if they had cast an autistic actor in that role. They would have had a lot more people on their side as well. Little bit of a spoiler. Well, in fact, it's kind of expected. He has a meltdown in the last episode. Yeah, fair enough, it's a bit of an acting challenge, but I practiced meltdown when I was preparing for just in case, on the off chance that I did get selected to play Mark in the A Word. It's surprisingly easy to get into, which is quite scary. But overall, I really think they should have cast an autistic character in that. Next month in London, on the 13th of September, 6 till 8 PM, in the Channel 4 headquarters, I believe, in London, there's a discussion about how autistic actors should be given the opportunity to play autistic roles. In fact, roles in general. It's not just about autism, it's about disabled, it's about equal rights and stuff. It's something I would love to attend. I really would love to. But I thought I'd just say about it quickly. You might be based in London, you might be able to go. It's a theatre company, tickets are free, it's just they're limited. I will leave the link to that in the description to go and have a look at that. I so wish I could come. I can't afford to get there, if I'm completely honest. So unless some magic pot of money lands in front of me, I won't be going, but I really hope anyone can go. And if you do go, please let me know how it went. But yeah, there was a lot to discuss with this one. I really feel it's a topic that there's a lot to talk about. So please let me know in the comments below your opinion about all of this. I want to know if you're fine with neurotypicals playing autistic characters, because my general consensus, obviously, yeah, I do think perhaps maybe autistic actors should be prioritised for an autistic role. I think a neurotypical should be given if the correct autistic person can't be found. But ultimately, the portrayals I have seen, I'm mostly happy with, so yeah, I just feel it'd be nice to have that representation. But yes, do let me know what you feel about all of this down below. Thank you very much for watching. Knox.